Battle in the Dunes, and much like the last map, or one of the last few maps we've seen with Northern Fjords, Battle in the Dunes, long, huge distances, wide open spaces. Does have some roaming dust clouds, which can often offer a lot of troubles for newer ships, but we'll see how that ends as I'm kind of flying through clouds with really weird... Okay, there we go. Everything loaded in. Okay, let's get some ship rundowns as we've got the ramming speed. It's got Gatling Hades one side with Merc up front and Gatling Hades on the other side as well. That's definitely bucking the trend. And on the Nymph, we've got Hades Artemis, a lot more standard, with a Mercury up front and Hades Artemis on the other side as well. Let's give a quick rundown of ships for the other team.
Certainly, on the Half-Life 3, we have a pretty standard GAT mortar on the front and a double Hades side. And for the Soviet Alaska, we have a double lumberjack with a Hades supporting, a flare on the back, and a Carronade Hull Watcher short side.
Yeah, and I'm being informed that VOLWe, as I figured, they are mostly a Russian team, so no huge surprises there. Of course, with some old Polaris guys and I guess some other folks as well who I've not quite seen all that much. All right, so ramming speed has that GAT Hades, which don't see a whole lot. What do you think about that?
I want to see what they're going to do with it, because on paper, Gatling is fairly short range, Hades is fairly long range, and they kind of do the same thing by different means. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy they're going for with that loadout. I'll be curious to see what comes of it.
Very much so. Now, it looks like they are just using that front Mercury. They can just try to knock out those lumberjacks to start off with, and then maybe going further. That's definitely what they're going for here. Very smart to do there. They're going to continue just peppering the Soviet Alaska for now, and hopefully at some point one of these ships will maybe move a little bit forth. And the thing is, this is actually going to force Soviet Alaska to do something, or at least the blue team to do something. They can't just continue to sit here.
Or move forward, or they can't just sit back because they just got those mercs, and they'll just continually knock out those guns. And double lumberjack on those junkers would definitely be devastating if they started connecting, but no such luck for now, as it looks like the VOLWe team starts moving in.
Yep, and of course the Cupcake Bandit team definitely can, brawl a little bit. They do have that Hades Artemis. It is, of course, somewhat longer range, but you can still, get a little bit closer. It's kind of that mid-range fighting style. They are going to continue on peppering, looks like, the Soviet Alaska as they come in. They do not want to face that double lumberjack, and I cannot blame them. When you're a junker and you're facing against lumberjacks, getting that lumberjack out is literally the biggest thing you can do.
This is interesting. They're actually making them come forward. Soviet Alaska losing his hull armor, taking a sliver of perma. I'm sure that'll go up relatively quickly, losing some engines as well. Half-Life 3 still moving forward as well, but they're just focusing Soviet Alaska right now, getting the damage in that they can with those double mercs, and they seem to be baiting them. It's a pretty good bait.
So far. Now, this is pretty much the range that they would have to flip their sides right now to start shooting at Hades, maybe a little bit of that Gatling with Half-Life 3 approaching rather quickly, and if they can get that Gat mortar in the range, this can do a lot of damage. And here we go, a little few shots going down onto Holf there, but still those junkers are just backing up, and they're going to run into the edge of the map here fairly soon. And while, yes, they have been able to disable some components, the range has been completely covered here.
They have definitely just pulled their U-turns and started moving in. Looks like they're going to focus Soviet Alaska.
Soviet Alaska getting a full-on watcher shot onto the Nymph, taking out almost every single component. Ramming speed, shooting down the Gatling, but they don't really have any permanent explosive damage. Hades can do a decent to a hull, but nothing like a mortar or even a flak.
They're definitely focusing that Soviet Alaska. They definitely want to get him out of the fight. He is down to about half perma now. Half-Life 3 focusing on Nymph. Nymph's taking a lot of damage. His balloon is about to go out. A big ram.
Yep, nice ram
and Mortar
there.
coming in.
And Mortar
that'll
just
be it for the
destroying the day of the Nymph. And ramming speed
Watch
is catching
barrage on ramming
cool
speed,
watches.
taking out a lot of
Literally everything.
all of the components.
Literally
Excuse
all
me,
the components.
The balloon goes out as well to that carronade. He is in a sour spot.
Yeah, the worst part here is this is in their spawn, and yes, the Soviet Alaska has taken a decent amount of damage, but this this close range is going to continue on happening, and I really feel like Cupcake Bandits, their trouble was that they kept with that front Merc just a little bit too far, and too long. They needed to flip their sides around and start shooting those Hades. That Hades so extremely useful, especially against something like a Gallon. You can
Half-Life 3
completely
charging into the ramming speed. Those lumberjacks starting to rain in on ramming speed, taking out the balloon. I believe as
the
he's
Nymph finally respawns.
Yes, he does. Pretty an okay range away. I'm assuming he's going to hope that his ally spawns with him. Ramming speed taking a lot of damage now and falls to the ground.
Ramming speed is actually the one that gets rammed down in there. Half-Life 3 following that, following the Junker as it collided down into dunes the entire way. Nymph spawns a little further away, so you're trying to use that Merc once more. And here's the thing, guys: if you're trying to pick up some tips to the game, maybe that Merc can do a decent amount. It can do some component disabling. It can take off some hull here and there, but you really at some point need to bring the meat into the battle, and the Cupcake Bandits just didn't quite do that fast enough. At the last moment there, they tried it, but then a full Watcher burst can absolutely wreck a Junker's day, and that's basically what happened.
They did very well with their positioning, and when you're right. They probably could have gone to the side or to the broadsides a little bit sooner, but they definitely surrounded Alaska, and that clutch Wacha really did break apart that maneuver.
Absolutely, and once again, Soviet Alaska and Half-Life 3 are going to be charging on fourth here. And they're just not slowing down. They want to get up close and personal. They know that they have the advantage when they're in close range with the Nymph and the ramming speed. Really, all they have to combat that close range are a pair of Gatlings on two different sides, for that matter. So
right. Soviet Alaska turning his lumberjack broadside. Interesting choice, but he will get it. He will get it squared away. And at this close range, if you load in the right ammo, those shots are not going to be too hard to connect.
Half-Life 3 going after Nymph. Nymph doing a nifty job of evading so far, and Half-Life 3 is actually losing his armor, and a lot of fire coming down. Will they be able to take the Nymph out before, however?
Also on Nymph, taking all that lumberjack fire, all that.
Oh, Nymph goes down, and will Half-Life 3 follow? Not quite sure. That Gatling continues to come on in here, but all they've got is that Gatling on that ramming speed. I believe they do not have anything closer. Half-Life 3 now bouncing down into the ground, and does go down because of that.
Go down.
And now the Soviet Alaska is in some trouble, as it's alone here on this side of the map. Still trying to hit the ramming speed with those lumberjacks. A few of them manage to connect, and ramming speed actually loses a balloon, bumps down into the ground, taking a nasty bounce. The Soviet Alaska, however, not running at all. They are just keeping themselves on in here, and Soviet Alaska now facing down the Nymph at very close ranges with that lumberjack. Not going to do a whole lot.
Putting a lot of fire into him. Nymph is headed to the floor here if he takes a nasty bump.
And armor almost down on the Nymph as well. They do get their balloon just barely rebuilt. Soviet Alaska.
Right.
Oh, huge Watcher barrage.
Watcher barrage. He's going to keep that short range on him. He's going to hopefully turn that. Oh, the carronade's out right now. So taking some time to get that short range going in. Ramming speeds. Just still peppering away with that Merc on Soviet.
Yeah, I think they definitely should have turned by now and started using that Hades.
Nymph has taken a lot of punishment for it too. Now they've got all those guns going. Soviet Alaska's hold does go down, but there's nothing to really answer to it. Ramming speed finally moving in. However, onto the short side of Soviet Alaska, I don't think it will take much for him to. Oh well,
Hades finally coming into Soviet Alaska. Another huge Watcher barrage into the side of the ramming speed. And Soviet Alaska's just doing just enough to be able to stay alive. Now, Half-Life 3 has actually respawned and is making his way all the way from the other side of the map. And we'll see if the ramming speed and Nymph can take out Soviet Alaska just in time for Half-Life 3 to come in here. Soviet Alaska, any sort of
they
fire.
manage it, they do. And Half-Life 3, he better be careful now. He better start throwing that throttle in reverse pretty fast, or he's going to be in a world of trouble.
It doesn't look like he knows how to stop. He's continuing on forth, charging right through these clouds.
I think he's
he's stopping.
He pulled it back.
Finally
He's stopping in the
All
clouds.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So Half-Life 3 going to sit around here for a little while, and we'll probably see Soviet Alaska pull on forth as well. And I really do want to know what the thought behind the Nymph and the ramming speed is. They seem to really, really, really extremely favor that Mercury. But if that is the case, I'm not sure why they took the Junker. You know, if you can definitely toss double Mercs in front of other ships like a Pyra, even a Mobula.
That's true. Honestly,
the entire point of a Junker is to get those side
I could see them
guns.
running 2 Mobulas in the state that they have been using these Junkers. If they had 2 Mobulas, I think blue team would be in a world of hurt. But for now, they will stick with their Junker strategy, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Looks like blue's moving on in. We've got Half-Life 3 holding at these clouds, and looks like Soviet Alaska is just going to move into support. Hopefully Half-Life doesn't punch it too early, or else he's going to get caught in a lot of focus, and that's what got him killed last time.
Absolutely. Now, Soviet Alaska has done a very good job at that Hwacha fire, just absolutely destroying components left and right on those 2 Junkers, which has saved them multiple times.
Certainly. And the unsung hero, the rounds you'll never see or usually never see, is that carronade popping those balloons too, putting a lot of pressure on those Junkers.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder to use, or not harder to use, but a little bit less effective is what I want to say on this map with the carronade, because you have such a long way to fall. But if you continually pepper them and continually pop that balloon, it will end up doing a great job. And when you combine it with a lumberjack, you know, oftentimes you might not be able to get a balloon up fully. And you know, then
interesting
that carronade
engagement
can do even more.
here. Hate to cut you off there.
Yep.
Half-Life 3 charging into the Nymph. He doesn't have the support of Soviet Alaska quite yet.
But he's got that. He does get some of that Gatling fire going on, and not a whole lot of fire back onto the Half-Life 3. They do get that Gatling gun out with that Mercury, however. Soviet Alaska rushing forth as fast as they can.
They're really close now. Hopefully they start turning those sides, and Nymph does start getting that side Gatling in, but he's taking a lot of fire. Now Soviet Alaska's here to support.
They are trying to get on out of there with some of that kerosene, tarring it up, and Half-Life 3 is going to get pumped right into the middle of that tar. That is a great tar there by Nymph, catching all of Half-Life 3, knocking out at least 2 of its engines there.
Nymph taking a lot of damage, though, from Soviet Alaska as those lumberjacks rain in, hold down, balloon down.
Half-Life 3 also down. Oh my god, Nymph goes down. That's really quick there. Half-Life 3 took a nasty bounce against the dunes as well. Took a lot of damage, and unfortunately I'm seeing a lot of Hades missing here from ramming speed, and that's... you gotta hit with that Hades. If you're gonna have those Hades, you gotta hit with it.
That's right. Finally starting to connect with some of those shots. Gatling raining in. Hades just missing behind him. Hull armor's gonna go down here.
The ramming speed takes a bounce off that engine, knocking off way lot of its armor.
Alaska's here supporting. Half-Life 3, it looks like he's in a very compromising position, but if Soviet Alaska's connecting with those shots, he is very well supported. Nymph moving in on Half-Life 3.
Armor is down and rams him. Oh my,
ram.
Huge ram. And can he take him down? Such little health left, such little armor left.
Oh no. Oh!
Armor going once more and does go down again.
Manages to take him down back from the grave.
So it is a 4-3 lead here for the blue team. Can Soviet Alaska withstand this assault, or will the blue or the red team tie this up at 4-4? Soviet Alaska shooting off into Nymph's balloons.
He definitely has an advantage here, being at the range that he's at with the lumberjacks. He's definitely hitting them hard, but This balloon went down, it goes right back up. Here it goes down again.
Yeah, and you know, there, you can see just how far the Nymph has to fall. It's going to take a long time for him
However,
to do
Soviet
any
Alaska
damage.
is focusing on Nymph, and ramming speed is coming in. He's going to get in on the opposite side, and they are going to
Nymph's
start
balloon is
surrounding
down
him.
once again, and they're actually really close to the ground now. Takes a nasty
Yes,
bounce.
oh,
Soviet
Homer
Alaska,
down.
Hull is down.
Big hits coming in onto the Soviet Alaska. Oh man, I would really wish they had some more explosive.
Yeah, they
damage.
had a mortar, a flak, any sort. I think they do have some Artemis, but I think
Anything.
it's on the Nymph, not the ramming speed. Ramming speed using that Gatling
Soviet
into the
Alaska's
side.
taking tons of damage now. Focus fire. I think his days are numbered.
Yeah, his armor is gone. Balloon is
out.
gone, dragging
He's
along
grinding
ground.
against the ground now. Balloon getting back up, but again, this
Just,
focus fire is
yeah, too
only
much.
going to, and there he goes.
I mean, you know, even
It's a slow kill, but they're managing it.
yeah. As I said, that Hades is actually deceptively useful.
Oh, Half-Life 3! He's charging in. I don't think this could be the game. This could be the move that.
But for who?
That really, this could be it.
The real question is
Focusing on
who?
Nif, lots of focus fire, but Nif is just going to shrug off that damage. And ramming speed going to start focusing Half-Life 3 very quickly.
Half-Life 3 banging against Nymph here, getting little pokes, but its
Armor
armor is all the way
down.
down. Can those shots continue to hit Half-Life 3? That Hades probably in within arming range, and armor down once more.
His engines are down. He's not going to be able to keep up with turning for the Nymph. All this focus fire is definitely going to start taking its toll. Soviet Alaska coming in as fast as he can, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
And Half-Life 3 goes
is
down, and Cupcakes pull back to win this
Man.
5-4 with once again a little bit of an overextension from a Pyramidion. We saw that a little bit earlier today, so crazy finish to that end there as the Half-Life 3 decided to move on fourth. And, well, Cupcake Bandits with their unusual loadouts do manage to go on fourth.
Very much so. And, yeah, it was... As unorthodox as they were, it still came down to the basics of positioning, and there you go. GG.